Duke Eclipse presents the Horror Hideout Podcast, a podcast covering everything horror, including books, comics, and movies. Presented by Dawson Duke and Kayla Bullock.
Welcome to Horror Hideout, and this is our final week of
Shark Week Month.
And we are doing 2017's Trailer Park Shark, also known as
Shark Shock.
Which is goofy because it should have been
Shock Shark.
Shark. Shark, yeah. So.
I guess it's not. I guess shark is describing shock. Like it's shocking that there's a shark.
Maybe.
Not that there's a shark that shocks.
Yeah.
But there is a shark that shocks.
Yeah, so. I don't really think we can do a spoiler-free review on this one without saying too much. The name kind of gives it away. There's a shark loose in a trailer park.
Yeah. And it's. The one thing I will say. It's not like, I see all these pictures online where it's like a shark in the woods and stuff, or like a shark in a cornfield and stuff. It's not like that. Like, the area gets flooded.
Yeah. So, yeah. And we were talking a little bit before we started this episode. This is probably the most forgettable of the movies we've watched for Shark Month.
I called it the trifecta of bad movies. It's got bad acting, bad effects, and a pretty bad story.
See, and I don't think I would have even remembered this one if it wasn't for Dennis Haskins.
I know.
Mr. Belding being the bad guy. And then, of course, I remember Tara Reid being in it, but she's not in it for very long.
No.
I remember, like, I couldn't have told you anything about the story. I just remember Mr. Belding was the bad guy.
I vaguely remembered some of the stuff that Belding did, like, we're going to call him Belding the whole time, I already know, but, yeah. Like him blowing up the dam.
See, I didn't even remember that.
Mm.
So, yeah, so let's just jump into it.
The beginning reminds me a lot of trash TV. Where they're all in the trailer park, and you're kind of getting to know them, and that one woman starts fighting with that one guy.
So, when we say trailer park, this is it's on Mr. Belding's land. I don't even know his name in this movie.
I don't either.
It's on Mr. Belding's land, and it's kind of by the river, and it's not anymore. Sometimes when you think trailer park, you can have a pretty nice trailer park with, nice single wide trailers that are in good condition. That is not what this is.
This are more like campers.
And it's very much like they play up to every stereotype of redneck backwoods hillbilly that you can get.
Hillbilly.
And this happens later on, but they sure ran the Dookie joke into the ground.
Yeah.
Did you catch that?
Yeah.
That was ridiculous. But anyway.
I didn't think it was funny the first time.
I didn't either. I thought that when I heard it the first time, I was like, well, maybe maybe he just called him Dookie, and then they just kept going with it.
Yeah.
So. But of course you've got Rob, who's dating Jolene.
Yes.
But he also had a thing with the other girl before.
Which, does that have something to do with the fight at the beginning? I don't remember what the fight is about at the beginning. I just remember them yelling at each other.
They're not the two that get in the fight. It's the other guy.
Okay.
The guy that has the dog.
Okay.
The two girls get into a fight over him.
Okay, that's what it is.
So you've got...
It really did remind... I know I already said this, but it really did remind me of, like, the Jerry Springer show or something like that, though, the way they were fighting.
And it,
But the acting, again, I gotta clarify here. The acting is... Out of all the movies we watched for this month, with the bad shark movies, this by far had the worst acting.
So Barb is the one in the pink shirt, right? With the unbuttoned shorts.
I could not tell you.
I think it's her.
Robin, I told you before we started, Rob and Jolene are the only ones I remembered.
Well, she
their names.
Got her name as a nod to barbed wire, since her eyebrows are replaced with barbed wire tattoos. And then the actress liked it so much, she shaved her eyebrows and got the tattoos for real.
That seems a little crazy.
Strange. But anyway, so...
I mean, to each their own.
We've got the one guy that's dating a girl, but he's got a baby with the other girl, and then that lives in the trailer park, and then you've got the black guy that is like a soul brother. I liked his character. I did like him.
Yeah.
And so it's just this very trashy, rundown area where they live.
I think sometimes when you think of a trailer park, you think of it like being more on like the outskirts of like a town. But this one is more like it's in the middle of nowhere, like very backwoods.
Yeah. And I didn't ever get I didn't really ever understand why they were there. Like, if he owned that land, why were they even there? Like, had he just bought the land?
They rented off of him. He talks about it in the office.
Well, I know that, but he doesn't want him there anymore, so why didn't he just kick him out?
He talks about that when he's with his little sidekick in the office. He's like it would they could squat on the land for a year and the police still would not get involved. Like it's very hard to with all these people's rights now. It's very hard to get people off stuff.
Yeah. So we also have a scene where one of his minions is at the trailer park trying to collect rent.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of roughing her up, and then Rob goes and pays her rent.
Yeah.
For her. So, but the movie starts out with Rob and his uncle.
Well, and we kind of mentioned Belding's character, and a big reason that we remember this movie is because of the horrible accent he does.
Yeah.
And in
sometimes he doesn't even have the accent.
That's what I was about to say. In some scenes, like, oh, I don't remember where they're at, but it's him talking to one of his goons, and they're outside somewhere, like standing outside a garage or something, and he's talking to him, no accent the whole time, and then at the very end he throws in a y'all.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, that's...
Yeah.
And then in other scenes, he has, like, a really bad, thick, like, Louisiana accent.
So this says, reportedly, Mr. Belding got a standing ovation from the cast on his first day on set. It had to have been from being Mr. Belding and not the guy in this character, in this movie. So... we start out the movies. I do like Rob, and Rob is a good actor, and he is actually played by Thomas. What's the guy's name?
I don't know.
Thomas Ian Nichols, and he is actually a pretty famous actor. He was in the American Pie series of movies. He was Rookie of the Year. He was.
What year did this movie come out?
2017.
Why would he? Because wouldn't some of those have been before this?
All of them would have been.
That's what I thought. Especially when you said American Pie, I knew that was before that.
So
why would you...
I mean, it looks like he's not done anything big for a while. So
maybe he's kind of fallen off. And
yeah.
Well, that's like Lou Ferrigno plays... I think it's...
He's in King of Queens.
No. Yeah, he is. But it's one of those... They have that whole Grim Avengers universe with like the Sinister Squad and all that. That's parodies of the like Marvel and DC movies. And he plays, I think it might be John Henry, but he's a guy that can like turn himself to metal, or he gets turned into metal. You don't remember that?
So,
he's like a construction worker guy, and he like gets like cursed or blessed or whatever, and so then like his skin is made out of iron, but it's literally just like it reminds me of the old Lou Ferrigno Hulk, where it was just him with green painted skin. It's just him with silver skin. Like it doesn't. That's the extent of the effects.
So he was in Rookie of the Year, Kid in King Arthur's Court. He was the main kid in those two. And then he was Kevin in the American Pie series. So I liked him.
Is Rookie of the Year, is that the one where the kid like hurts his arm and then he can throw really well? I vaguely remember watching that in school.
Yeah, I liked that one. He's really the only one in the movie that's really been in much that...
Other than Belding.
Yeah. So,
but I don't really know what else he's been in other than playing Mr. Belding in Saved by the Bell. I know he appears as Belding in an episode of Victorious.
He's Mr. Belding in that?
Yeah, it's like the April Fool's episode. And I think he's telling a story about Zach Morris.
Oh my gosh.
But he's like subbing in for Psychowitz, I think, which is like their regular teacher.
So there's a movie called Saved by the Building.
Okay. Is it like a documentary?
Four naive young men journey to California in hopes of finding the truth about the infamous Rod Belding of Saved by the Bell fame. Rod Belding was Mr. Belding's brother.
Okay. I did not know about the Saved by the Bell extended universe.
Me neither.
Well, I kind of did, because I know like it crossed over with Alf.
So the only thing
and some other shows.
Well, it says he was in A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Which is a Seth MacFarlane movie, right?
He was in Clemency. Sorry, Clemency. I'm reading a book with a kid named Clementine.
101 Ways to Die. That's Seth MacFarlane, isn't it? I thought so.
So
Anyway.
yeah. Anyway, so other than those two, I don't really know anybody else in the movie, but so yeah. So it actually starts out with Rob and his uncle, and we see them on jet skis, and they're going. His uncle's gonna go under the water to plug in electricity to a windmill,
Yeah.
but like one of the big industrial-sized windmills.
Yeah.
To get power to the trailer park, so they don't have to pay for power anymore.
Yeah. Kind of go off grid.
Which was really odd to me why they would plug it in underwater.
Yeah, I don't know.
So anyway, that happens. We see the shark, and then we back up, and we actually have our story until we get to that.
So spoilers for that. The shark is like an electric shark.
It gets that way when it bites the
I know.
cord.
But I'm just putting that out there. That's where the name comes, or where for shark shock, that's where that comes from. But me and you, when we first found this movie and we just saw the cover, the shark has red eyes on the cover and there's electricity around it. And me and you were talking about it before we watched it, and we thought it was going to be a robot shark.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah. But it's not.
And their trailer park is Soggy Meadows.
Okay.
So,
did you take notes?
I did not. I just have some fun facts.
Hmm.
So, I mentioned that Tara Reid is in it. She's also in American Pie. So her and Rob are in American Pie together. She's not in it very long. But anyway, so then.
And I haven't seen American Pie, but I know like what it is.
Yeah. So we meet meet our cast of characters in the
trailer
park.
Soggy Meadows.
And then we meet Mr. Belding, and I don't know the guy's name that works for him.
I don't either. I think it was something weird that started with an S and it had maybe a K in it or something. Like it was something kind of weird. But this is the scene we were talking about earlier where Belding tells the guy that he can't just kick the people off the land.
Right.
And his sidekick guy kind of seems like a psychopath.
Swayze.
Who... Oh, and I do want to mention this before we get too far into it, but this movie, if you want to seek it out, I don't necessarily think it's one I'd recommend, though.
I would.
But it's for free to watch on Tubi.
But you said it's under
Shark Shock.
I know I was speaking that wrong.
I also think it's on YouTube for free to watch, under Trailer Park Shark, but I don't know that for sure.
I watched it on something for free and just looked up Trailer Park Shark and it pulled it up, but... It's funny because even the credits at the beginning of the movie and the end of the movie, that's what it doesn't have Trailer Park Shark.
It says Shark Shock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was funny.
Well, that's like that other movie we're looking at that's Ragin' Cajun Redneck Gators. And then has another name.
Not nearly as fun as that one.
No. Like Gator Alley. It's not that, but something like that.
Yeah. So... Mr. Belding's evil, and his whole plan is he wants to... There's a big storm coming in, which we never even really see anything from the storm.
No.
But there's supposedly a big storm coming in, so he wants to blow the dam and flood the trailer park so he can blame it on this storm. And so Swayze is his madman that's going to go do this. And Swayze is actually Jolene's ex-boyfriend. And Jolene is the one that is with Rob right now.
Yes.
So they rig up this thing in this van. Him and this other guy rig up a thing in the van. And they're going to go park it by the dam to blow it up during this storm that we never see.
It is Alligator Alley.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that was right.
Yeah, that's the other name for it.
Did you say Gator Alley?
Maybe I think so.
Maybe that's why it didn't.
Yeah, because if you go on IMDb... It's under Alligator Alley, but then on the movie database, it's under Ragin' Cajun Redneck Gators.
So weird.
Yeah.
Because
anyway,
these movies are so awful that they need two different names.
Yeah.
So
well, you used to work at Family Video, and you guys had a whole wall of movies that were like this, like spoofs.
Yeah, I love that job. I miss that job. Anyway, so him and this other guy go out with the van, and they park, which So they parked the van on the edge of the river by the dam.
Yes.
Did you notice that there was another van identical to that one sitting in the grass?
No, I wasn't looking.
Like when I was watching it, I was thinking that they were like that was their escape vehicle. That was how they were because it looked exactly like
Yeah.
the one, and apparently it wasn't.
It must have been an extra they left in the
I
background.
guess. I mean, so
I'm surprised they could afford to.
or he. And this part I thought was so stupid too. They keep going back and forth on how long they should set the timer on the bomb for. And the guy's like, "Well, 4 minutes." Well, if you know you got to run away and you have an option, why wouldn't you set it for longer than 4 minutes?
Yeah, I would think like 10 minutes because that gives you room to walk away and to be down a ways down the road so that no one sees you near.
Well, and especially if it's something big enough to blow a dam, you
Yeah,
want to be pretty
yeah.
far away. I mean, anyway, I have a lot of issues with this movie. So they set the bomb for 4 minutes. Well, then Swayze tells the other guy, "Oh, well, we left the license plates on there, so go get the license plates." So the guy takes forever to get the license plate off using his big giant hunting knife, and he gets blown up.
Yeah.
And if it was the explosion like they thought it was going to be, I wouldn't have worried about the license plate.
And the explosion looks really bad.
It does.
It looks like it was recorded in front of a green screen and they just overlaid it without taking into account like shadows or anything like that. Like it just
Yeah.
It's bad.
Don't you think he would have just left the license plate though if it was going to blow the whole thing up?
Yeah.
I mean, it's that big to blow up a dam from the riverbank.
And especially if I got over there and all I had was my hunting knife, I'd be like, screw this, I'm not gonna die, and leave.
Yeah. And so, as Swayze's running away, we see Rob on his jet ski, and he actually catches
He sees Swayze.
on his GoPro.
Yeah.
Which is another pet peeve of mine. I could not stand the way he said GoPro in this movie. It was not GoPro, it was GoPro. I gotta go get my GoPro. And I'm like, no, it's a GoPro. Maybe they couldn't use GoPro. They couldn't say it that way, but I swear somebody else
it says
did.
GoPro in the subtitles.
I was gonna say, I swear somebody else says it, but he says GoPro, and it drives me freaking crazy.
Well, have you seen that clip of Benedict Cumberbatch voicing like a...
The Penguin documentary?
Mm-hmm.
How did
Penguins.
they leave that in there?
I have no idea. And the whole thing is, if he had been pronouncing it the same way wrong the whole time, I don't think people would have made a big deal out of it as they did. But he changes. It's like penguins, pinwings. Like it's all these different ones. Yeah.
Time.
Yeah. So that's what you made me think about whenever you were saying that.
Oh my gosh, so awful. So the dam blows, which I don't even think you could see the dam where they parked the van.
No.
It wasn't in the background. And I'm thinking if you're going to blow a dam, you need to be pretty close.
And when we see the explosion, do we even see the dam explode? I just think we see in the woods where the explosion hits.
No.
Yeah.
No. And so it floods the trailer park.
But I don't think we see it flood the trailer park, do we?
We don't actually see it flood. We see the aftermath.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, like, any big scene you'd have in this movie, they're like, well, we don't have the budget, and just don't do it.
Yeah. Well, and so before all this happens, we do see Rob's uncle gets eaten by the shark. And this is where it bites the cord, and you were talking about it.
Now it's an electrified shark.
Electrified shark, which I think if it was that bad. But did his uncle even get it plugged in?
I don't remember. But also, if you plug something in under the water, wouldn't that, like, electrify him? I know, yeah,
like,
yeah.
What?
But the other thing I was thinking about, too, with all this is, there's so much going on in this movie. And I feel like they could have cut it down and just, do one plot. Why do you have all these different elements? Because it just makes it so confusing.
Well,
and it makes it...
Shark be shocking.
I understand that, but also, first of all, I think there's better ways to explain why there's an electrified shark. Like, if it's a robotic shark. So, I think what could have been cool is if instead of it's a shark that bit onto the electricity... What if, like, Belding's character built that shark to get the people out of the trailer park?
Well, we never have an explanation why there's a shark there anyway.
No, we don't.
There's just one.
Yeah.
It's not like, Ozark and Mississippi are goofy movies too, but...
But they mentioned in there, they're like, bull sharks... They're like, bull sharks
there.
can swim up and they can survive in fresh water.
Yeah. Like, they don't ever mention anything in this movie about that. So...
And there have been real cases of sharks swimming up the Mississippi River. Not as far as they do in the movie,
Yeah.
but down by where it meets the ocean. And I don't know about the Ozarks though.
I don't know. I don't know how close the Ozarks are or to the ocean.
I don't either.
But
I was never good
anyway,
at geography.
I never have been either. The 2 G's, geography and geometry.
I
did well.
I wasn't too bad with geometry.
So, the trailer park gets flooded, and somehow we end up with 2 different groups of people.
Yeah.
In different parts. So we've got the one area that's got Jolene and the other girl, and the guy that owns the horse.
Yeah.
And the black guy.
Yes.
And then there's another one that's the 2 women and the guy that owns the dog.
Yeah. And Rob?
And Rob's not there.
Is he on his boat still?
He's on his jet ski.
A jet ski? Okay.
Yeah.
When does he get the boat? Because I have issues with the boat, but we'll get to him.
When he tries to fix a hole with his sandwich?
Yeah.
So, of course, then we have a scene where Swayze is telling Belding that Rob saw him, and Mr. Belding's like, well, I had 3 partners, and they tried to kick me out of this business, and blah, 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 and Swayze's like, well, what happened to him? And he puts his boots up on the table, and there's a patch on one of his boots, and it matches one of the guys' tattoos.
Yeah.
So they just try to make Mr. Belding, and I know that's not his name in this movie, but they just try to make him seem so tough and so badass, and
it's bad.
Not.
Yeah.
He's just not.
And
he's a good actor. He did a good
Yeah.
job in Saved by the Bell.
it comes back to what I was saying, though, with the overcomplicated. Like, all that backstory stuff he just told, I feel like is completely unnecessary to anything that's going on.
Well, it's his way of threatening Swayze.
I know, but it just,
To get
everything,
things done.
it just, in this movie, it just seems like, oh, this guy can't threaten this guy. He has to go above and beyond. Like, everything feels so like it's for show.
Yeah.
Which, I understand it's a movie, but everything just feels way too over the top.
But they had to have enough to make it a movie. I mean,
Yeah.
there's not enough substance there
I know.
to not
I
have
know.
all of this extra crap. Oh, and one thing about this, when the shark gets shocked, he ends up with this big red boo-boo on the side of his head. And that boo-boo switches sides all the rest of the darn movie.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Why? It's not that hard to be consistent.
I think part of it is they probably reused footage and just flipped it.
That's what I'm thinking, but I'm like, why would you not, like... Why?
Makes me think of He-Man, though. Orko's original name was going to be Gorpo, and they only made his name Orko so they could put an O on his chest instead of a G, so that they could flip the animation cells and reuse...
Well, but animation, that kind of
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
I mean, and nobody else would have... I mean, other people know that,
Yeah.
I'm sure, but, like, it doesn't affect the story that his name is different.
Yeah.
But this kind of was...
No,
a
I
big
agree.
deal.
I
don't know,
agree.
it's just...
And it
You
would have
can
been so
tell-
easy, too. It would have been so easy, too, just to not have it have the red on its face. At all.
Yeah, but then we wouldn't know it was shocking. As you can tell, neither one of us really liked this movie.
No.
So,
If Mr. Belding was not in it, I don't think we ever would have even remembered it existed.
I don't think so either. Like I said, I couldn't tell you anything about it except for that he was supposed to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
So, Rob is still out on the river.
Yeah.
And the shark, I think the shark attacks his
Jet ski.
jet ski, and he ends up in the boat.
And it's like an inflatable raft
Yeah.
that kind of... I don't understand this boat at all. Like, it's not like a heavy duty
It's like
boat.
a raft. It's more like
Yeah.
a floaty that you.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like a lifeboat,
It looks
yeah.
like a boat, but to me, like material wise, it's more like a floaty that you.
It's like
take
an
in a
emergency
pool.
life raft.
Yeah.
Like, not something made to use long term, just something to use to get
Right.
away. And he uses it the whole movie. And I don't know, it just...
And he has an oar at one point, and then I think the shark takes it.
Yeah.
And so he ends up using duct tape, and he duct tapes his hand into the shape of an oar. And I'm like, even if I spread my fingers apart, as far as they can go, I'm not sure I can make an oar out of my hand.
Well, the other thing, too, is all the flooding came through. There's all kinds of branches in the water and stuff. Why would you not just grab a branch and do that with a branch?
Why would you not just go to dry land and walk? Well, I guess
I don't know how
it
far
was
it is.
flooded.
Yeah.
It was flooded, but I don't know. And
That
was
another thing,
that
I couldn't really get a grasp on where everything was.
I couldn't either.
Like I like in a movie when we kind of get. I like when we get establishing shots so we know the general layout of the area and stuff.
Right.
Because even some of the other bad movies we watch, like Ozark Sharks, whenever they get to the festival, we get some shots that show different parts of it. So we kind of get a general idea for what it looks like.
And even that one with the cabin and the little shop and all of that,
Yeah.
you could kind of figure out the lay of where everything was. And this one you cannot.
No. I had no mental map whatsoever.
So, and we are probably skipping parts of this movie and we're jumping all over the place with this movie, but it doesn't really matter because it sucks.
Yeah.
I haven't said that I don't think about anything on the podcast so far, but this movie sucks.
We've had a couple movies in the past that we said we wouldn't recommend, but I don't think we've hated it on a movie this much.
Yeah. So, Rob is in the river doing his thing.
I will say this. For what it is, it's a very inoffensive movie.
What do you mean?
Like, it's not like a movie where I'm like, oh, I absolutely hate this thing. It's more just like, it's not worth the time.
It's not.
Like, it doesn't...
Kind of when you're indifferent about.
Yeah, yeah. But again, it is I would say, genuinely, out of all the movies we covered, this is probably the most forgettable one.
I would agree with that. Like, Ozark Shark, we were watching it, I would watch it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. And then Mississippi River was the same. And the only part I remembered of this one was the Tara Reid part. And the only part I remembered was, didn't know what she was doing, but I remember her sitting on the camper fishing first, stuff out of the water.
Yeah. Well, because even like when we talked about doing these, like with Ozark Sharks, I remember like the shed, and I remember the grandma getting eaten, and I remember the wood chipper and stuff like that. And then for Mississippi River, like I remember when they catch it with the tow truck and the scene on the bridge where all the sharks get hit, and like all that, and her making pipe bombs.
My big thing on that
I have all these elements that I remember, and then this one you mentioned it. The only thing I do is I picture Mr. Billings' face. With that stupid cowboy hat on.
My big part I remembered in that one was when they're fighting over the trophy and both get their arms taken off. But so anyway, back to this one. So Rob's on the river doing his thing, trying to get back to Jolene. And the campers are flooded, like...
up to pretty much the roof.
Yeah, like they can't get out, they pretty much can't get out the doors.
I would say there's an inch of space between the water and, like, the top of the roof.
I'd give them a little bit more than that, because later on, unless the water went down, because later on when she's trying to climb on the roof, there's probably a good...
I think the water goes down.
Okay.
I might be wrong,
so,
but I remember there's... We'll get to it, but...
So Jolene, we're at the one with Jolene and the other lady, and then the one guy, and the guy that has the horse. And the horse's name is Duke, and this is what I mentioned earlier, they run the Dookie joke.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what a Dookie is, look it up. It's...
poop.
Stupid, but yeah. So, he's got a horse, and he finds his horse, and then they see the shark. And they never show the horse running through the water. Like, they never actually show the horse when he's on... So he gets on the horse to go fight the shark. And they never really show the horse in the water. But you can tell by the way they're filming it that he's supposed to be running through this water.
Yeah.
Well, if the water's up to almost the top of the campers, his horse is not going to be able to run through this water.
Another thing that I want to mention, too, is, like, we see the shark at various points throughout this movie, and I wonder if they were using footage from another movie they did, because there's parts where it a lot of the times the shark is CGI, and it looks really bad, and you see the fin going through the water, and the water's not moving right for the way the fin's going through.
Too. Like, the fin looks so fake.
Well, let me say this. But then other parts, you get close-ups on the fin, where it almost has like a bumpy texture to it, which is what you're talking about, that looks like a physical, practical effect they had there. But it's almost got like a spike on the back and stuff. So I'm wondering if they had some kind of monster shark movie they did, and they just either reused footage from that, or reused the fin from it for this movie. Because it almost looks like a prehistoric shark or fin or something like that.
It looks like paper mache, fake.
Yeah.
Very fake when they do close-ups of the fin.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's riding his horse, and the the shark sends out a shock, which that's another thing. The shark can send out electrical shocks when he wants to.
Yeah.
Like, he's not just always electrified.
And he doesn't, which again, he's a shark, but he doesn't always use them when he should either.
Yeah.
And there's no, like, in your movie, you gotta, like, determine the stakes and all that kind of stuff. And you've got to, like, the watcher needs to understand the limits of the enemy's power. And I have no idea with this shark. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, give us some kind of scene where it's like, oh, he electrifies, and then he can't do it again for, like, 10 minutes or whatever. Like, give us something.
Right.
Or, like, even, like, with the eyes. You know, they show the red eyes every once in a while. Make it so that, like, his eyes are red whenever he electrifies, and then whenever the electricity's out, his eyes go back to normal, and then they slowly come back to red, and when they're full red, he can do that electric attack again. I don't know. You know, something like an indicator of some kind to know.
Right. Yeah, it was just...
Because otherwise, why isn't he just electrifying the water all the time?
That's what I think.
And another thing that they kind of do, but not very well, the campers are metal, and they're standing on them, and the shark keeps electrifying the water. And there's a couple times where people react like they're being electrocuted because the roofs are electrocuted, but other times they don't. Like, it's just so inconsistent.
Maybe the shark can direct it where he wants it to go.
I know, but then why is he not shooting it into the roof to electrify him?
So anyway, back to the horse. So this scene where he's running his horse through this water is just ridiculous because the horse would be swimming.
Yeah.
So then the shark shocks the water and he eats the horse. And they don't show the horse being eaten. You can just see its front paws.
Did you say that the shark eats Rob's GoPro?
No.
Has
that not?
That happened earlier, right?
Yes, when he went after the jet ski.
Yeah. So so Rob now wants to get the GoPro back from the shark so that he has evidence of what happened.
Yeah. So anyway, so we just see out of the, like, on the side of the screen, you see red coming out of the water, and then you see the horse's feet kicking, and you can tell it's a stuffed animal.
Yeah.
Like, very much looks like stuffed animal legs, which, thank God, they didn't kill a real horse, but very fake. So then the rest of the movie, this guy is so upset, and he just keeps talking about his big brown dookie that the shark ate.
Yeah.
And they just, of all jokes to make, that was so immature, and they just used it way too much.
It wasn't funny.
No.
And it's, okay, so I've seen people talking about this when they talk about Family Guy 2 and how some of the cutaways go on too long. But what they bring up is that if you're doing a movie that has a lot of jokes, do not reuse the same joke over and over. If you use the joke once, the people that find it funny are going to find it funny. The people that don't find it funny are going to move on when you make the next joke. But when you do this, and you just keep hammering the same joke over and over and over, even if someone thought it was funny the first time, by the 20th time you've done it, they're desensitized, they don't care, and they're annoyed.
Right. Yeah, so he ends up back on the top of his camper. And then we cut to, and again, I'm probably not telling this in order.
I don't think between the two of us we could tell this in order.
So then we switch to the other group of people, and the guy sees his dog floating on top of the doghouse.
Yes.
So he goes out to get his dog, and the shark comes and electrocutes him. Which
was the doghouse floating?
Yes.
How? I didn't really understand that.
I don't know.
I guess
it still had, like, dirt and mud and stuff around the bottom.
I know. It's almost like it's on an island.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that.
I don't understand it either.
Maybe they said something and I missed it, but I don't think they did.
There was no explanation.
Yeah.
But he ends up...
There was no explanation for anything in this movie.
So he ends up getting electrocuted and he dies.
Yeah.
So then we go back to Rob, and Rob's still on the river with his handmade paddle. And he sees Billy Joe, and that is Tara Reid. And she's sitting on top of her camper, fishing with a fishing net of things that are floating down the river because this place got flooded.
And I think this is the best scene in the whole movie.
It's funny.
I know, that's what I mean, yeah.
It's funny. And so she...
So here, her camper, I think, is the one that has almost an inch. I mean, just like an inch. So maybe the other camper has more room. But I think her camper just has about...
They didn't have much, but I just know...
I think they had more. But I think hers literally only has like an inch.
Hers is angled. I think the inch may be the
on
guy
one
with
side.
The dog.
Okay.
And that, where those three people are.
I just remember seeing someone laying down on the roof of a camper and it's like the water is right there.
I think that's the other group of people.
Okay.
So anyway, she's on top of her camper and she's fishing for stuff, and Rob's like, "Hey, that's my watch," and she's like, $50.
Yeah.
And he's like, "But that was for my grandpa." And she's like, "Oh, so it's important. $50." Like, so anyway, he ends up getting a canoe paddle or an oar and a gun from her.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, you can come with me." And she's like, "No, I'm good. I'm just gonna sit here."
And I know we talked about how this movie is forgettable, but I do like this scene. And
she's probably my favorite character. And
I
she's
agree.
only in it for 2 minutes.
And I think she would be she feels like a character that you would run into in like a D&D or like a post campaign or something like that.
Oh,
like kind of one of those quirky characters that's just kind of there for one session and doesn't really do a whole lot, but like
kind of like an NPC.
Yeah, that's what but I mean like a specific kind of NPC.
Right.
Like she feels like one that you would run into, and she just becomes a fan favorite for seemingly no reason.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of somebody in Nightcrawler that was like that, but I got nobody.
I don't know.
So anyway, does he see her get eaten?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. So later on, which again, skipping out of order, but we have a flashback to her, and she's trying to get something out of the water. I can't remember what it is. And the shark comes up, and so she starts throwing stuff at the shark, but she's throwing like a flamingo floaty and all kinds of silly stuff, and the shark eats her.
Yeah. Does he electrify her first?
I think he electrifies the camper and she falls.
Okay. Is that when he's there?
I think so.
I think that happens when she's trying to hand him the canoe paddle. When she's trying to hand Rob the canoe paddle.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Anyway, I think she gets electrified, is what I mean there. Maybe I'm wrong.
I thought it was right before she got eaten, but I don't know. So anyway, she gets eaten.
Yeah.
So Rob ends up back at the Soggy Meadows with where Jolene's at. And there's still Jolene and the black guy and the other girl.
Yeah.
Her name might be Daisy.
I don't know.
There's a Daisy in there somewhere.
We can call her Daisy. It's not.
Daisy's either her or she's one of the other women. No, she gets electrocuted before Rob gets there.
Okay.
Because she does her dance moves. I don't think Rob's there when she... Is she there? Is he there when she's doing like the... No, because that's right after the horse dies.
Okay.
So, I want to talk about this scene because... let me pull up my note.
Yes.
Oh no, so that's the other woman. That's not Jolene that gets electrocuted, that's Barb. So during rehearsals, Howell, who played Barb, suggested adding a dance montage to her character's electrocution scene. And so the director loved it so much that they actually put it into the movie. But so this is the other one. So this is when the guy dies that went to get his dog.
Yeah.
She's on the roof of the trailer and she starts doing she does part of the robot and she does the sprinkler and all these other dances. Just little parts of the moves. I thought that was kind of funny too.
I agree.
Sounds like maybe they should just have the cast write the movie.
Yeah, it sounds like they should have more ad-libbing, and it sounds like they should have more leaned into the humor aspect of it.
Yeah.
Like, done more comedy instead of... Because you cannot do a serious movie where the main villain is a shark that bit an electrical cord and is now electrified.
Well, he's not. The main villain is Mr. Belding.
Debatable, but... I guess the shark is more a force of nature than...
Yeah. So...
But that's kind of what I was saying about, I think they had too much going on. I think the shark should have been like a robotic shark that Mr. Belding or like his company or whatever built to try to get people off the land.
Or something happened to it when they blew up the dam that could be traced back to him. Blamed on him. So,
do you know the rule of 2 Ys?
And they can't say that the shark was there because the dam got blown and he got in because we saw the shark before they blew the dam.
Yeah. Do you know the rule of 2 Ys? I think I've talked about it before on the podcast.
I don't remember.
So, a common thing that I see online that people tell authors is when you're writing something, you need to have 2 Ys because people don't often look further than that. So, like, if you're doing your own magic system, you have to be able to answer why twice, and that's usually enough for people. So like with the magic system, it's like, well, how do they cast spells from the books? Or like two hows or whys, like that kind of thing. So how do they cast spells? They have them in their spell books. How do they get the spells in the spell books? They copy them from ancient ruins or whatever. Like, and that's all you need, because that's all people are really going to look into it while they're reading. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, give them just enough where they can suspend their disbelief.
Right.
And I don't think this movie does this anywhere.
No, I don't think so either. So then back at the two women that are left, Barb and the other girl.
Yes.
Swayze and two of his guys show up.
Barb and the other girl, or Jolene and the other girl?
Barb and the other girl.
Okay.
Swayze and two of his men show up on jet skis.
Yeah.
And I think they kill the one girl.
I don't know if they directly kill her.
Well, she dies.
Yeah, they might knock her in the water or something. I don't know if they directly kill her. They may, though.
But then they're just kind of torturing the other girl.
Yeah.
And Swayze leaves and tells them to take care of her. And the shark shows up and shocks both of them. And she manages to get back. So she's the one that's laying on the camper.
Who ends up on the front of Swayze's jet ski?
Her.
Okay.
But not yet.
Okay.
So she is alive. She's on top. She gets back on top of the camper. She's the one that was laying there that you're talking about, where there's not a lot. So then we switch back, and Rob is with Jolene. He's made it back, and they come up with this plan that they're going to catch the shark.
So they can get the GoPro back.
And Mr. Soul Brother has a rack of ribs in the fridge that's bloody that they're going to use for bait.
Yeah.
And Dukey's owner goes down under the water to get some kind of hook off the front of his trailer. And that's what they're going to use for the fish hook.
Yeah.
And then the shark shows up. And he dies. The guy under the water dies.
Yeah. I was going to say, it does not really go to plan.
And Soul Brother, somehow the front of his camper gets ripped off.
Yeah. Does that have to do with the hook?
No, I don't think so.
I don't remember.
Anyway, somehow his camper gets ripped open, and he has put the ribs on the top of a cooler, and he's like floating them out so the shark will go for them and not him, but the shark goes after him.
Yeah.
So he dies. So we've got, I think her name's Daisy. We've got Daisy at the one site, and then we've got Jolene and
Rob
at this spot. And Rob's determined that they're gonna... Oh, well, before all that happens, they decide they're gonna take Daisy's kegs and empty them and hook them onto the shark so that they can tell where he's at in the water.
Even when he goes under.
And wear him out.
Isn't that the same thing they do in Jaws?
Yes.
I mean, it's not kegs,
No,
but
yeah.
They shoot harpoons into it with barrels so they always know where he's at.
Yeah. So, Rob's getting drunk off the alcohol.
I think we've talked before when we were talking about shark movies that both of us don't really like Jaws. I'd rather watch Jaws than this one.
Jaws is just boring.
I agree. But at least it's somewhat memorable.
Yeah. I like Meg.
Yeah.
So their plan works. They hook the shark. He gets tangled around a tree, so Rob gets this idea that they're going to haul him up into a tree. I don't remember how they do that.
I don't know either.
I'm telling you, Rob climbs the tree and kind of like teases the shark, and the shark jumps over it and hangs himself off this tree.
Yeah.
First of all, this is a 1,000-pound shark hanging off of one tree branch.
Yeah.
That probably wouldn't hold. Anyway. So then,
I don't even know if the chain would hold. Maybe if it's on a truck.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
So then Mr. Belding shows up, and I don't even know what he's writing. Don't even know what you call that.
I don't know.
But some kind of fancy jet ski. It's not really a jet ski. I don't even know what you call it. But,
I think I'd call it a jet ski
so
just because we don't really...
He shows up, and basically tells him the whole plan because the villain has to tell the plan.
Yeah.
And he wants to kill Rob and Jolene. Well,
And he has a gun.
Does he have a gun?
Yeah, he's got. Doesn't he have like a revolver?
I didn't think he had a gun. I thought he had something different because Rob has a gun. Because Rob has the gun from Billy Joe. Billie Jean. Her name's Billie Jean.
I thought he had a revolver.
Maybe he does.
It's not super important.
Anyway, so he's gonna kill both of them and make it look like bullet holes happened because of the flood. But then something happens and Rob goes to shoot him. And the gun that Billie Jean gave him doesn't have any bullets in it.
What is he? Because I genuinely don't remember, so I'm asking if you remember. Why does he want them off his land? Is it because they're not paying rent, or is it because he's wanting to do something there?
I think it had something to do with the trees. Why am I thinking like lumber?
Well, because the thing I want to point out, if it is, because I think it's something like that too, would flooding it not ruin that area?
Trees are pretty resilient. I don't know. I wouldn't think so.
I don't know. Is there salt? Is there salt in the water that got flooded?
Guess how long? I guess it would depend on how long it's going to be flooded.
Well, even just a couple days of salt water is going to kill those trees. Is what I'm saying.
I don't know.
But I don't know if it was fresh water or salt water behind the dam.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember.
Anyway, that's not super important. It was just something I was thinking about. We didn't talk about the hole in Rob's boat.
Oh, yeah. Let's back up.
We mentioned it earlier, but we didn't actually...
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, I don't even remember what happens.
He floats into a stick that's poking off the shore.
Okay. So, yeah, he floats into it, and it pokes a hole in the boat. And... Does he say what kind of sandwich it is, or it's just a sandwich? But
I don't think they ever say what kind.
But
a lunch meat sandwich.
He decides he's going to try to pack the hole with this sandwich. And it works.
No, it doesn't. He has to put duct tape over it. But he does tape the sandwich to the boat with the duct tape.
Yeah. That's probably just what I'm thinking of, but
It's funny because my dad always said if you can't fix it with duct tape and baling wire, it's not fixable.
Well, and they pretty much say the same thing in the movie, that if you can't do it with duct tape, you can't do it with anything.
Yeah. So, it's just funny because, and the sandwich looks so gross. It looks like he chewed it up and spit it out to put it on there.
Yeah.
Like it's gross. But even duct tape is not going to hold in the water like that and patch a hole like that.
Not if there's a whole sandwich underneath it to let water in. Like, a sandwich is not airtight.
Well, and duct tape's not going to be airtight in the water for that long, is it?
It can be.
So anyway, that's the stupid sandwich hole patch, which he knows it's stupid because he even says something about it. But
yeah. But if he has duct tape, why are you trying the sandwich?
No idea. Not a clue. So, back to Mr. Belding. The shark tail swings around and knocks Belding into the water.
I'm going to say this while I'm thinking about it.
Or actually knocks him off balance.
I'm going to say this while I'm thinking about it. If you want to watch a good horror movie that has, like, kind of hillbilly, redneck-inspired characters, go watch Tucker and Dale vs. Evil.
Yes.
I think that strikes a perfect balance in making jokes about it and treating them with respect.
Yeah. He reminds me so much of my cousin.
See, and he reminds me of my cousin.
Which one?
I'll tell you when we're not recording.
No, I mean, which guy? Dale?
Yeah.
That's who reminds me of my cousin.
I know. So we're pretty much saying the same thing, but...
Anyway. So the shark tail hits him, knocks him back into the boat, and then we have this moment of like, aw, him and Rob are gonna make up, and they're gonna be okay, because Rob helps him stand up. And then he tries to go after Rob, and the shark knocks him into the water.
Yeah.
And then they say that he's dead.
Yes.
And I don't understand that.
We don't see anything happen, they just say he's dead.
He just disappears in the water.
Yeah.
Like, maybe he got knocked out, but wouldn't he float? Like, we don't ever see him again.
I don't know. I don't think they thought too hard into it.
I don't think so either.
I don't know. I think the movie just kind of ends.
Yeah, 'cause they don't ever get his GoPro back, do they?
No, I don't think so. I don't even think we have really much of an ending. I think it just kind of cuts to credits.
Yeah, so that is Shark Shock. Shock Shark. Shock Shark. No.
Shark Shock.
Shark Shock. Trailer Park Shark. As you can tell, neither one of us enjoyed this movie.
Yeah. Again, like I said, it was a very inoffensive movie. It wasn't like...
I wouldn't say I hated it. I
That's
just
what
think
I
I'm
mean.
indifferent.
That's what I mean,
I don't care. I mean, take it or leave it.
I didn't really have anything major with it where I was like, oh, this was horrible. It was more just like, this is forgettable. This is boring. This is...
Yeah, I can see that. So, do what you want with that.
We're not... if I don't watch it again, that'll be just fine.
Yeah. So, out of the ones we've done for this month, what's your top?
I mean, Ghost Shark was kind of my first. But if we're going based off of like how, like it, if I'm reviewing it as a critic versus reviewing it as like my personal taste, critic wise, I would say Mississippi River is the best out of these. But if we're talking like personal taste and just like kind of nostalgia and stuff, Ghost Shark would be my top.
Why would you say Mississippi would be?
I think it had the best acting and the most well thought out plot.
I'd agree with that.
And
But
it played into the humor a lot.
Yeah. It had good actors in it too.
Yeah.
Personally, my favorite's Ozark Sharks. I really liked the main
Ozark.
girl.
It's definitely, that one is definitely up there with the other two. I just feel like I did not remember as much of it as I did the other two.
Yeah, but you've seen Ghost Shark a lot too, though.
Yeah.
So, but I really liked the main girl in it, and like I told you, the scene where Liam dies. That's not his name. What the heck's his name? I don't even remember.
Curtis, yeah.
When Curtis dies, like, almost made me cry.
Yeah.
And for a B movie, Sci-Fi Channel B movie to make me want to cry that says a lot. So.
Well, if we're really sitting down and talking about it, and without taking into account acting and stuff like that, just like kind of generally the whole movie as a whole, I would probably put Ghost Shark first, Ozark second, and Mississippi River third. But they're all very close, and if you ask me the same question tomorrow, I might tell you something different.
Yeah. Ghost Shark was just... I probably like Ozark and Mississippi better than Ghost Shark. Ghost Shark will always have a special place in my heart, though, because it's kind of one of the first ones we watched together.
Yeah.
And the whole Return of the Cup thing will always be funny to me.
If someone was like, oh, I want to start getting into some B movies, what's a good starter B movie? I think I would say Mississippi River Sharks.
I think I'd go Ozark.
I don't think I'd recommend Ghost Shark as your first one. Even though that was kind of our first one, I don't think I would recommend that one as your... Because it's just, it's a cool concept, but it's just so kind of out there.
Yeah, but at least there's an explanation that kind of makes sense.
Yes.
If you suspend disbelief, more than this one, where he bit a cord that wasn't plugged into anything and got electrocuted. Ghost Shark, there's actually a reason.
Well, the thing I'm talking about, it's like the shark died and came back as a ghost. Why? Because it went in this cave to die.
Right.
Well, why? Because there's like ruins in this cave that's like from that voodoo lady or whatever. Like, and that's all we need. That's enough to suspend our disbelief.
Right. And even though it's far-fetched that it can show up in a fire hydrant or in a cup of water, know, it makes sense. So.
And I also think there's kind of a trade-off where there's a certain level of interesting idea that can offset your your suspension of disbelief.
Right.
Like, even though it's this absurd idea that the shark can appear wherever water is, it's a cool enough concept that you don't think about it too hard.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And it's a ghost shark. It's not like it's a real shark
that
can show up in a swimming pool. Yeah.
Because, like, if we really want to get nitpicky, like I talked about Mississippi River Sharks, and we talked about how there's that scene where it's through that guy's chest. That is not physically possible. Like, that would never physically... Right. First of all, he wouldn't be able to stand up with it through his chest, but first of all, it would never actually...
walking down the road with the shark
yeah. But it would never be able to burrow in through him like that.
Right.
Because of the way its teeth set, it would not be able to do that. But that movie plays enough of it off as jokes and stuff that I feel like you kind of ignore stuff like that when you're in the moment.
Yeah. I mean, if there's a good enough plot and a good enough actor,
Yeah.
like this one I picked apart so much. There's so much wrong with this movie. There's so many things that
Well,
just drive me crazy. But I think that if the story and the acting had been better, I don't think I would have. It wouldn't have bothered me so much that the shark's boo boo was on the wrong side every time.
And you can look at any movie and pick away at it, because you can look at Spider-Man and be like, well, if Spider-Man was real, that force would put his, like him swinging on webs, that would pull his arm out of the socket every time he did that.
Right.
But you don't. Not everything needs to be hyper realistic.
Right.
It's a heightened universe. You have your suspension of disbelief.
Well,
you just have to earn. You just have to earn that suspension of disbelief.
Right.
And I don't think Trailer Park.
Out of
yeah.
the real life.
But I don't think Trailer Park Shark earned its suspension of disbelief.
No. And again, I go back to, like we were talking about with the electric stuff. Like you said, there needed to be a why or a how.
Yeah. And I think we picked some good shark movies to cover, because the first one we did was Ghost Shark. And so it's kind of an out there concept of there being this shark that's a ghost. It's more supernatural. And then we did the two where they're just kind of regular sharks in a spot they're not supposed to be. And this one has the electrified shark, which kind of gets more into the supernatural or kind of more science side of it, even though that doesn't make sense in real life. But, we kind of did two that were more like supernatural, or like kind of mutated sharks, I guess might be a good way to put that. And then two that were more just like regular sharks in the wrong area.
Oh, I have one more thing I want to say. So Jolene and Rob are the two that survive.
Yes.
Okay. Jolene, the lady that plays Jolene, is actually in a movie called Nightmare Sharks.
There's one more thing that I want to say about the end before we close up, but
okay.
Keep going.
So she is in a movie called Nightmare Sharks, and it is about women who have survived shark attacks and start getting attacked in their nightmares by sharks.
We should watch that one.
And I don't know, I didn't recognize anybody else that's been in them, but I'm curious to see what other shark movies they've been in. But Jolene, and her character's name in that movie is Jolene.
So you think it's her?
I think it's her. It's either Nightmare Sharks or Shark Nightmares. I can't remember. But yeah, I thought that was so cool that they actually...
I think so too.
We need to look and see who else is in that. And
we didn't talk about Swayze's death.
Oh, yeah.
He's on the back of the jet ski, and he's got that girl in the front, and she grabs the handlebars and is jerking him back and forth. And we don't see it happen. It all happens off screen through sound effects and stuff. But basically, she drives him towards a branch that's near the edge of the river, and presumably it goes into his face and kills him. We hear him scream off screen, and I think we see some blood. So anyway, Swayze died too.
Yeah.
So the bad guys all died.
So that's how the movie ends, because he comes and is chasing them.
Yeah.
He's chasing, or Robin and Jolene are chasing him when all that happens, because they're going to save Daisy.
Well, he's behind them because he's on a jet ski and he ends up passing them.
Right.
And then that's when that happens.
Right.
She grabs the handlebars.
That's how the end of it is.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to save her, and they do save her. So it's called Nightmare Shark, and it says survivors of previous shark attacks are hunted by a supernatural shark in their dreams. And Jolene is in that one.
So we may have to do that next year or at some point.
So this is the end of July.
Yes. So end of our Shark Week month.
Is that what you wanted to talk about with Swayze?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So this is the end of July, Shark Week month. So August we are doing books, and we're doing, so far we know 3 of them.
I Hate Fairyland.
From the Red Fog.
Yes.
And the Corn Maiden.
Yes.
And we don't know what the 4th one's going to be yet. So
we will let you know when we know.
And then I believe September we're going to do a book and a movie, like a book that
was turned into a movie.
So we're going to do the book and the movie.
Yes.
But we don't know what those are going to be yet.
No.
So. And then Christmas time, and I think we've talked about this once.
October we're going to do anthologies again.
Yeah.
Because we're going to do that as long as we can find more anthologies to do, we're going to do that every October.
So, Christmas time this year, we're going to do something a little bit different. There is a book called 25 Days by Per Jacobson. And I think we've talked about this on the podcast before when we were talking about the year. But the point of the book is you read one chapter every day from December 1st to Christmas. And it's about a family who go away on vacation and they're getting stalked. And they're up in the mountains. And so there's 25 days which is from the family's point of view that Dawson's going to read, because I read it last year. And then there's also, he's coming out with 25 Nights, which is from the killer's point of view. And I'm going to read that one.
And I have a proposal for you. Instead of doing movies that month, what if each week we just do an episode where we talk about what we've read so far?
We could do that.
Do you think that would go well?
Work.
Okay.
November,
I'm not sure about
except
yet.
for I do have one more Christmas book I want to do. We have to do To Hell with Hallmark. We didn't do that one yet.
No.
We have to.
Is there 5? Is there 5 Fridays? And
I don't know.
We'll look.
But so 25 Days and 25 Nights, and then To Hell with Hallmark for sure,
Yes.
which is by Brad Ricks.
And I don't know if we have a theme for November yet, so that is still up in the air.
Yeah. So we will see you next time for I Hate Fairyland.
Yes. And then after that, we're going to do Corn Maiden and then From the Red Fog. And then we'll let you know in From the Red Fog what we're doing for our last one.
Yep.
So have a great day.